Pisces, welcome to your tarot reading for the week of September 1st through 6th. It's Rena here. I'm using the, what's the name of this? I don't have the box in front of me. Why do I keep forgetting? Druid Craft deck. I've rarely used these, but this is what the back looks like. I think I'm going to put this one as the heart of the matter. And I'm also going to be picking a card from the Energy Oracle deck. Well, we have one major arcana card, and that is the High Priestess, which is perfect for Pisces. And we have two number threes, which is another perfect card for you, number for you, because it's a number of expansion, creativity. And so this is the heart of the matter, is the Three of Wands. And this is a card in this deck. The main reason I even bought it was I was researching which decks are most faithful to Rider-Waite. If you have any other suggestions, please list them below. I just Googled it, and I have the Morgan Greer deck already, and that's very faithful to the Rider-Waite Pamela Coleman illustrations. So the Three of Wands, well, the reason I was saying all of that was because I was trying to say that a lot of these decks, they show a man looking out on the horizon. And the reason that I'm assuming they're showing a male is because wands connect to the fire element, which is masculine. And masculine element means that, you know, the fire and air signs are masculine. It means that the energy of the person is directed towards the, the bigger picture, the bigger world, outwards, in other words, rather than an introverted kind of a thing. The water and the earth signs, which more introspective yin types of things. So this is about even possibly wanting to move to another country, but definitely maybe even travel. And if you have a product that you're selling, you may want to expand the impact so that other people from long distances find out about your product as well. But I typically think of something where you're actually physically going somewhere else. It's not just like a mental thing to me. If there's a fire sign individual in your life that is kind of taking up a lot of your attention, it would be either an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. In the past position, we have the Nine of Swords. So if this is a personal relationship, it's like being tired of the suffering, being tired of the anxiety. And the Three of Wands is very positive. It's kind of forward-moving. And so it's really about wanting better for yourself. That's what expansion is. So if you've suffered in a personal relationship or even in a workplace situation where you feel like you never have this sense of peace, then that might be what's going on. In the present position, we have the High Priestess. So it's, connecting to your higher self, and that can help you to make these important decisions. Perhaps you were so out of touch with everything because of anxiety, and instead that should be the time when you turn to the spiritual even more so. But it's not, it's human nature when things are very tense to kind of like get obsessed with it. So it's not like saying, oh, that's so bizarre that you did that. No, it's understandable because people tend to react that way. They think that if they are experiencing some kind of challenge, that by really obsessing on it or feeling consumed by it, that is just the only possible response. Imagine if we all did that as soon as we had a major upheaval in our life. If we just sat down and meditated, and that was the first thing we did. We didn't call anybody on the phone. We didn't go out and do something destructive or just distracting, but really just meditated. I wonder how much balance, centeredness that would be created instead. But luckily for you, you may be doing just that. What's coming in is represented by the Five of Cups, so this is about that transition period when you're letting something go, and it could be something that deserves to go, but you still have a sense of disappointment that it didn't work out. That's certainly understandable. I'm starting to show the two cups that are upright to show that silver lining. You may be feeling bad that something's over with, but by the same token, you may feel a sense of relief, or you know that it was the right decision. You know, it's interesting, the Nine of Swords above the Five of Cups. These are both cards of suffering. One is of mental anguish, the other is of emotional grief, but both can connect to a person who perhaps has allowed themselves to remain in a situation that is not healthy. So if you look at it in the right way, Pisces, you may be actually improving your life immensely. Remember that we're coming off of a full moon in your sign. So in the first week of the month, when the sun is in Virgo, which is the opposite house, opposite to your first house of self, in the house of relationships, you may be like really focusing on relationships for whatever reason. It just might be the time that this all comes to a head in a sense. And actually, speaking of things coming to a head, that's exactly what a full moon can bring. And you may have had some revelations about your own tendencies that you're still ironing out. This may be the aftermath of that. But in addition to that, when there is a new moon in Virgo on the 9th, which is the next week, that's going to be a time of new beginnings with committed partnerships. So even if you have been in a relationship with somebody, it's not working, it's a long-term relationship, there still is the sense of maybe at least having a sense of peace between the two of you so that you can have a new chapter of your relationship, even if it's the chapter of being divorced, you know. I mean, that still can be an improvement in life. And then another 3 as the outcome, the 3 of Pentacles, which is a card of teamwork. You know, they show multiple people. It's also a card of, this is called the Architect's card because it's like really building from the ground floor up, anything. So whether it's your own business, whether it's a relationship, it's trying to do something that is going to lead to a permanent situation. Nothing is permanent, I guess, but long-lasting. And maybe you got involved with someone and it was just too toxic, and perhaps it never had a chance because you never related to the person at a deep level. With the 3 of Wands, there may be somebody who is sparking this passion within you. Perhaps they are a fire sign. And for you, Sagittarius is the first one I think of. The other fire signs are Leo and Aries. And perhaps you feel this sense of like your world opening up with this person. And with the Nine of Swords, that person may have even done a number on you mentally. Like they gaslighted you or what have you. So be very cautious if you have been dealing with a narcissistic personality. Be careful, because they can try to make a case where you're crazy, and you might actually believe them if they're good enough. I'm actually going to be doing a series on narcissists, and I'm going to separate them out by the element. And I was thinking ahead of time, like, okay, how am I going to talk about air signs, like Gemini, and which I think Pisces people tend to go, because you're both mutable signs. Aquarius and Libra, and with them there is a lot of mental manipulation, and these people tend to be very intelligent. I mean, have a higher IQ than normal, I would say, and they know how to, manipulate language to make you question yourself. And they might do it in a very subtle way. They may say something that sounds innocent on the surface, but still provokes doubt in you, or like insecurities in you, and you can't put your finger on it, and you realize that there's these subtle little digs or messages. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that in the future. But if you're dealing with anything like that, remember that these people can be very dangerous. Even though it may not be physical abuse, there could be definite psychological abuse, and that could lead you to believe what they're saying, and they could be like totally trying to get inside of your head. And the Three of Pentacles is about more of a relationship, I would say, that is stable, is practical, is not based on drama, okay? So that's good if that's any kind of, and that includes in the workplace too. Maybe with the Nine of Swords you're dealing with toxic coworkers. That's always a possibility. And with the Three of Wands, it's a very entrepreneurial energy. So it's kind of like, hey, you know what? I think I'd rather work for myself, come to think of it. Then I don't have to deal with office politics. And so it's actually very creative, and I really like that as the centerpiece for the first week going into September, Pisces. So let me pick that additional card from the Energy Oracle. I'm going to show you the back of this card, and I'll probably pick this one then. But I love that orb, or whatever it is. Okay. I don't know if I've ever picked this card before. Number 14, Caring Connections. And we'll see what it says. Friendship, partnership of two, possible love. By the way, the 7th house is also partnership. So even when it's not romantic, it can be like, going to business with someone. And again, you're going to have a new moon there on the 9th, which is after this particular time period. This card shows a couple in a tender embrace, with the woman holding the blossoms of new love, but actually a flower. There we are. There's focus. Like the Community card, this reveals a caring connection, but usually between two people only. This card upright signals the beginning or deepening of a kindred spirit friendship, or even the appearance of new love. It can also signify a formal business-ship partnership. I said business-ship. Business partnership. When this card appears, be on the lookout for new connections presenting themselves. The relationships you already share may become more intimate, purposeful, or present at this time. Notice the opportunities to forge new or deeper bonds. There may be a tender karmic connection at hand. Ooh. And Pisces, you are the last sign of the zodiac, so your house, the 12th house, rules, you know, the karmic past. Affirmation: I open my heart and life to truly caring connections. The ideal friend and partner is coming to me now. I really like the inclusion of friend with partner, because to me, I think that is what I was getting at. When I was talking about the Nine of Swords, you may have had a relationship with somebody and there wasn't that sense of them respecting you as a friend, as a human being, but not just as any human being, but somebody who really sees the good in you and praises you. And that's something that's like a red flag, you know, if you don't have that in a relationship, where it's not about like somebody having to shower you constantly with praise, but you know, if they're criticizing a lot and they're telling you what's wrong with you, but they never seem to tell you what's right, or they rarely, it's like, you know, throwing you crumbs of appreciation, then you know that you're not in a healthy relationship. And so the Oracle card Caring Connections is about that type of healthy relationship. Okay, Pisces, that's what I have for you. If you'd like a personal reading, most of my readings are based on your natal chart, and that is what I personally feel really gives that precise quality that allows me to kind of talk in less generalities than I'm doing here, or even in any kind of tarot reading. I think that when you don't do live readings, you don't have an opportunity to kind of clarify things. And so I have to do everything on my own, and I just feel most comfortable using the natal chart to kind of deal with these issues. But it's not about yes, no answers. Will I, you know, succeed at this job in just saying yes or no? No, you have to believe that you have power over your life. If you think you're a victim of fate, then you might be one of those people that goes psychic shopping and is always like looking for somebody to tell you what's going to happen to you. And not only does that make you vulnerable to people who know exactly what you want and might tell you what you want to hear so that it calms your fears, but it's not necessarily true. Or you just simply abdicate your responsibility and your power over life. And I do believe certain things are fated, for sure. But that doesn't mean everything is. And I really feel like I want to be that kind of reader that is helping people to get in touch with their personal power and know that no matter what happens, you can be happy. You don't have to have one outcome to be happy in life. So, okay. Enough of that lecturing. I actually was just going to tell you that the link to my online store is below. And I do wish you a wonderful beginning to September. Pisces, take care. Bye.